Hey there, podcasters.
So yesterday, you were all
supposed to be Friday.
You were all up in arms about that.
Nikki was like, veto.
But today, when you're actually getting this podcast, maybe not when you're listening to it, but today for us is actually Friday. So happy Friday.
Happy
and
actual Friday.
Happy going into the weekend.
Mm-hmm. So today in the podcast, we spend time with LNYX.
We do.
So we talked to them about Christmas cookies and their new music.
Oh, I didn't tell you on air today, but we should be getting a package from Scott's, from LNYX, from his mom.
Really?
Yes. From Cookies. So they have our address, so we should be getting some in.
Well, I hope that's true. You know, the other thing we found out yesterday is we were so dismissive of that new Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel stuff. Somebody who works from Pepsi heard us. They're going to send us some Mountain Dew Gamer Fuel. Yeah, they're going to bring some by,
so we should have a chance to test that next week.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that because, hey, listen, free soda. I'm in.
Free fuel?
Yeah, I'll take some of that. We also spend time today talking about the things that make us angry. They're very specific. Lettuce, Tokyo Disney, Burger King, Facebook, things of that nature. And a little bit about newly announced stuff at the Game Awards yesterday.
Yeah, that actually was pretty interesting. You had a lot of upcoming games that look, they look good.
They look like the video games.
We're really selling it, aren't we?
We really are.
Yay!
So you guys have a fantastic weekend. I will tell you this, if you want some RadioU Christmas merch, you're a podcaster, but you want something, we are saying you probably better get your order in before December 16th.
Yeah, so if you go to shop.radiou.com and then also take some time this weekend, you'll hear LNYX on this interview. But if you want to watch any of our interviews, RadioU Riot on Facebook, that's the page to follow and subscribe. Same thing with RadioU Riot on our YouTube channel. Interviews go there too.
All right, well, you guys have a great weekend.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Cleveland celebrates failure with a parade. We celebrate failure with the worst of the riots.
Man, it just gets worse and worse. I don't know if you guys have paid any attention. And I know for some people you don't care because you're like, I don't care about Facebook. Doesn't matter if you don't care about it now. Have you cared about it at all in the last 10 years?
When you were using it?
Because at some point, even if now you're like, that's for my grandma. Like, I'll bet you used it at some point. You might even have the app installed on your phone right now. Man, in the UK, one of their parliamentary members has leaked a bunch. Well, not leaked, published. Leaked is something we say now. That's not it. Like, they straight up legitimately published a ton of internal documents that they demanded from Facebook as part of a lawsuit. And it includes emails, memos, and slides. And again, a lot of people aren't paying attention to it. This is about 250 pages of material, but it's crazy.
It's worth paying attention to?
Well, it is because, like, for example, this is stuff that goes back to 2015. You've got an internal discussion with some of the higher-ups at Facebook in which they decided, like, hey, we've decided, I'm paraphrasing, but I'm not that far off. It basically said, hey, we've decided to push an Android update that will upgrade the app, but it forces people, if they want to use the app, to allow us access to their call logs. This could be really bad from a PR perspective. And then it's other people coming back going, no. We can go ahead and push this update without asking them for permissions and get access anyway. And like, basically just like, hey, they knew what they were doing. They were trying hard to keep you from knowing. And then the documents go to show that they were using that information as selling points to potential advertisers, AKA they knew what they were doing with your data. They intentionally took your data without you knowing about it, and they were using it to sell that data to advertisers to make money. And some of us, myself really kind of included, are like, yeah, I kind of figured that's what they were doing. But
when you actually read it, that they were fully aware and intentionally doing it.
We should be more angry about this.
Yeah, but I think Facebook, it's not like Facebook is too big, but because it's starting to crack. You know, it is starting to have it's showing its age. And people are fickle and we turn when something becomes too big or too old. But I don't know. I feel like we're more just have apathy with it because we assumed they were doing maybe even way more than that.
I would just say this much. If you are still a Facebook user, at the very least, you should get rid of the app.
They say that's the biggest offender.
At least get rid of the app, because at least if you're accessing it through the web, I'm not saying that they are still not taking personal, like, et cetera, but at least that way you are not giving them app permissions on your phone to poke around on who knows what. But I guess the other thing that's worth saying is that if you do have a lot of apps installed on your phone, you should take a good look at what you have installed.
Because they're probably all doing it.
The Riot believes in truth, justice, the American way, and high-speed internet. No, faster. RadioU.
So, yesterday, I decided it was time to give away some more of my private information. What can I exchange for something cheap?
Seems about right.
So I installed the Burger King app on my phone.
Oh, did you go try it?
And Burger King said that if I would give them permission to read everything, including my location, that they would sell me a Whopper for a penny.
So basically, they want you to download the Burger King app.
They do.
And the promotion, I think, lasts until the 12th, if I remember.
Does.
But you have to go and use the Burger King app to order a Whopper in a McDonald's parking lot. So it'll have to have your location turned on to see. And you're supposed to be able to order it there for a penny, and then you go pick it up from Burger King.
So Burger King's app, by the way, the GUI, the graphical user interface, is nice.
Yeah.
Like, it looks nice. It ran really well. So I installed it. I gave it permission to
where you
get
are.
my location. And I was in the McDonald's parking lot. And it was like, as soon as you enter a McDonald's, or you're within 600 feet of a McDonald's, this coupon will unlock. So I'm there, and I'm like, okay, unlock.
Waiting.
Unlock. Like, all right, well, what if I walk over here? Unlock. I mean, I walked all over this McDonald's.
Did it look like a Pokemon game? Like,
Yeah.
people are like, why is this guy just walking around?
That's what it felt like, and it refused. I rebooted my phone.
Did
I
you-
deleted and reinstalled the app.
Did you leave the property and then come back?
As a matter of fact, I did.
You did?
Because I tried multiple places, locations, like a bunch of different stuff. It never worked.
That's because McDonald's is like adding a blocker or something.
Maybe. But I did. Now, I mean, the only thing I didn't try was another McDonald's.
Oh, sure. Well, this one was convenient because, I mean, they're near the Burger King.
They're always near the Burger King. So I was just like, yeah, all right, let's do it.
So you never got the deal?
Nope.
Didn't even order anything? Or
Man, I showed them. I went home, and this is a true story. I went home and ate a salad.
Well, now, there you go.
I didn't get any McDonald's.
Didn't get any Burger
I didn't
King?
get any Burger King. I got a salad at home.
I wonder why.
Lime juice.
Maybe just
sauce,
look up. Sometimes
something.
what I do is I look up the reviews on the app to see if anybody else is having the problems too.
You know what I did? I just went ahead and did that thing that I hate when other people do it. I just tweeted at Burger King.
Told them.
Not exactly. I just said, hey, I'm in the McDonald's parking lot. The Burger King app's not working.
Any
et
response
cetera.
from the King?
No.
No?
The King doesn't have time for all his subjects, Nikki. Just the ones that are saying really nice things.
You were supposed to go to the castle and wait in line to present your case to the King.
I do love how when you publicly announce that something's not working, everyone just assumes it's you. Like, think about that for a minute. You guys don't trust me. You trust the Burger King Android app over me. Because if it's not working, obviously I'm doing something wrong. And so people are like, did you turn the location services on? Yes. Like, are you pushing the button? Yes. Did you turn it on and off again? Like, all this stuff where I'm like, man, guys. Really?
We already went through all that.
Really? Like,
I know, they don't know what else to do.
Remember who you're talking to. Burger King is the problem. It's not me. I'm doing it.
Well, thank you, DJ, for texting in Michigan. Says a salad. So maybe not thinking that was the right choice that you got that for dinner.
Hey, man, I went home.
You should have got some nuggets while you were there.
No, I decided. I thought
It wasn't
about
McDonald's fault. They weren't doing anything.
That's true, but the whole draw here was the cheapness. I was like, you know what? I'm getting cheap. And then all of a sudden I'm like, hey, Burger King sends me to McDonald's, doesn't give me the coupon, and then I order from McDonald's. That just feels like a big conspiracy to me. Like, that's one playing against the other. Like, that's the shadow government getting my money. So I was like, I'm going to go home and eat this disease-infested salad.
Oh, I know that. Actually, you're right. That's rolling the dice more.
Which, we can talk about that, too. You just want to keep this thing rolling.
We can keep going.
The CDC's got some more to talk about your greenery.
Once again, there just wasn't enough material for Best of the Riot. Actually, there wasn't any Best of the Riot at all. None. Zero. Look, it's all bad. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not bad. It's the worst. RadioU.
So it is true. Yesterday, I didn't get Burger King or McDonald's, and instead, I just had a salad. And what I didn't realize is that I was taking my life into my hands.
Only if it's romaine.
Oh, I hate romaine lettuce.
Why? That's the best. It's the Caesar salad.
Ugh.
I only really like Caesar salad, so this has been a very hard time.
I don't like romaine. I don't like whatever the other stuff
spinach.
is. Spinach is the only like green whatever I'm going to eat.
Don't even like iceberg?
No, iceberg. That iceberg is the worst.
See, I like the thick, chunky pieces of iceberg where they're like, there's no nutritional value. That's the best to me.
Oh my gosh. I
It's
think
crunchy.
I don't understand why it is that salad or spinach, which I mean, it doesn't get more leafy than that. I mean, except for kale. I mean, for me, kale, I'm just like, it's too much. But for whatever reason, spinach, I'm just like, all right, fine.
You can do that?
I just eat this straight off the tree, whatever. That I can take. But man...
It's mostly romaine lettuce, though, that still has the problem with every so often these really big recalls where they're like, don't eat it. And then they're not at restaurants. It's nowhere.
Well, here's the latest that kind of blows my mind. The CDC came out, like a week, maybe 2 weeks ago or whatever. And they're like, okay, everybody stop eating romaine lettuce. And they were like, okay, you can eat romaine lettuce again as long as it's not from Central and Northern California. Well, since they made that announcement, guess what? People are still getting E. coli. And so they're like, we don't know. We don't know.
It's not very comforting when they do that.
You guys know? And so they've come back out and they're like, okay. You can still keep eating romaine lettuce.
But
we think it's from Central and Northern California, but we're not sure. So don't eat any romaine lettuce that doesn't have the location clearly labeled.
So we're not supposed to go with anywhere there? We can just pick another state?
Apparently, yeah.
Okay.
That's what
East Coast. Are there any East Coast romaine lettuce growers?
They've said.
Probably not.
Well, the thing that gets me is that they said like a week ago, like, okay, you're all right to eat romaine lettuce again, except for Central and Northern California.
Yeah.
So they're basically saying that again. But if you really read into it, it's like, we think. So
well, I think that's just for their own security. Because if they said it's really only there and they were 100% like guaranteeing it, and then someone happened to get sick from another location, then they could really be in trouble.
No, I'm just telling you. Like, I don't know.
I just want Caesar salad.
No Caesar for you, Nikki. You should. Why don't you come over to my house and like I have
spinach Caesar salad? I
have the blandest, lamest salads. Everybody's like, your salads suck. Like, I have spinach and carrots what?
No, I just want a Caesar salad.
No.
I want
no dressing. You don't put any dressing on it.
Caesar dressing, which I could just put on any lettuce. I understand that. And then you put a little pepper on it and then some Parmesan cheese. That's not deadly, but it is. So I just don't want to run the risk.
Well, you know, the good news is, Nikki, is that if you go ahead and do the romaine lettuce thing, you're going to be great. Carl texted and says, story time. I finished reading the CDC warning on romaine salad while I was finishing a romaine salad.
Uh-oh.
And started to feel my stomach churn.
No.
A crisis ensued later that night.
That's because your body doesn't know what to do. Your body's worried. You've made yourself sick.
It's like, should we or shouldn't we?
I think the risk is probably very low that we would get something, but they're just pulling it from everywhere.
You know what? Let's just go ahead and chuck it just in case.
And no one wants E. coli. That's not funny. No one wants that.
I don't want it.
And it's not going to be funny if you do get it.
I don't want it.
I know you don't.
I'm not interested
in
getting
Then you'll
that.
never eat salad again because you'll remember.
Yeah, and I mean, like, chances are I wasn't going to eat salad anyway, except for the spinach that I like to eat.
Which you just never know. You don't want that to ever have a problem.
No, man, nobody eats spinach, so nobody bothers, making it bad.
No one even has any recalls or warnings against it.
And if they do, they're like, you know what? Not enough people eat spinach for us to say anything. It's fine.
Just email Obi. It's fine.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
Nikki, I want to pass you something. I want you to tell me if you think it is as mind-blowing as I do.
Sure.
The people at, what do they call them? The Disney Imagineers at Tokyo Disney are building this brand new Beauty and the Beast attraction.
So it's a ride?
Mm-hmm. And so they are making these kind of like new animatronic figures. You're used to seeing like Pirates of the Caribbean, and you're like, look, I think his finger moved. It's so lifelike. Wow. And so they've been putting together these new animatronics of Belle for Beauty and the Beast, and I think they are mind-blowing.
Now, don't hate me for saying this.
Okay, all right.
But I was not a fan of the live-action Beauty and the Beast thing.
No, it's not that.
No, but I mean, I would have preferred to have watched animatronics that look like this.
I agree with you.
Do that movie instead of who they cast in the live movie.
I wasn't a real big fan of it. I didn't even see the whole thing. I just saw part of it.
It didn't look very good.
Yeah.
But this looks very lifelike.
Isn't it amazing?
It's lifelike in the true to the cartoon sort of way.
It literally looks like the cartoon coming to life. And I realize, these are just robots that have specific programmed movements, et cetera, but I'll tell you what, there's this one of Belle where she's supposed to be walking through the forest and, she's holding the lantern. That blows my mind.
It looks like what you think it would look like.
That right there blows my mind.
So this is Tokyo Disneyland, and it's for their Beauty and the Beast ride.
I'm so impressed with it, which, again, I get it. Like, maybe I'm just too easily impressed. But when I saw this, I was like, wait, what? That's awesome.
It's cute. So it's the Beauty and the Beast ride at Tokyo Disneyland, where visitors, you sit in a teacup, and that's sort of like what takes you through the ride.
And it's going to be
really neat.
Yeah, it's going to be one of those things where just like, I mentioned Pirates of the Caribbean, but think about that, where you go through different Disney rides, or they have them at Universal, where you're just looking at scenes from the movie and you're kind of riding the teacup past it.
You're riding the teacup through the story.
Right. There's part of me that, like, when it comes to that, it's kind of lame.
Hey, on a hot day, you'd give anything to sit in the teacup, wouldn't you?
That's why you think it's so great. You're like, it's 115 degrees outside, but I'm in this air-conditioned teacup. It's the happiest I've ever been.
That's why they have these things.
I get it. Like, when you really start doing the math and thinking through your trip to Disney, it's really a terrible bargain in so many different ways. But what? Let's just stop.
That's not what we're talking. We were talking
about that.
The ride and the new versions of the animatronics. They do not have a release date of when the Beauty and the Beast at Tokyo Disneyland will actually be done.
Right.
But they're working on it.
Okay, so looking at this, the other thought I had is, how, like, what's the show on HBO, Westworld, that's based on the Michael Crichton movie from the 70s, where they're like, man, I go to Westworld and I pretend that these robots are real and they look like real people. You know what? Like, that's cool and all. This is way cooler to me. Like, what if I could show up to Disney World and sit down and have a conversation with Belle from Beauty and the Beast? That's way cooler than a robot that looks like a person.
I think it's cool if you grew up and when you were young, you watched that Belle. Does that make sense?
But isn't that all of us?
Well, yes, right now.
Right.
But I just mean, like, that's the only Belle until that terrible movie. That was the Belle that was in our mind as what she would look like.
I guess it's cool to sit down and chat with, like, Hermione Belle, but, like, there's just something, the idea of, like, hey, we made a completely lifelike Belle from Beauty and the Beast, you can sit down and talk to her. Mm-hmm. Or, like, insert your favorite animated character there. Like that.
It looks very, very neat.
There's something kind of cool about that.
You're a Disney fan. I bet you would really like that.
Yeah. And I'm not even really a Disney fan, and I think it's cool. Ledger, not dead yet, but soon the robots will replace us all.
It's fine, as long as we still get to stay in the air conditioning.
Is it cool in here? We're good.
Let's take all of the most mind-numbing things the Riot has ever said and play them again.
It's a stupid idea, but I love it.
It's the Riot on Radio U.
I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but last night was the Video Game Awards.
Was it?
It was.
What was it on? Was it on Twitch or Spike? Or whatever that is.
I don't know where it was on.
Oh, you don't?
I know you could watch it online. You know what? Okay.
Maybe that's all it needed to be.
Here, full disclosure, guys. I had to be here at the radio station at 3:30 this morning. And as a result, the fact that the Video Game Awards started at 9 p.m. Eastern was too late for me. Because I was trying to get...
Yes.
I was shooting for 4 to 5 hours of sleep last night, and I had to go to bed just early. It was bad. And of course, I didn't fall asleep until almost 10:30.
It's okay. People understand.
It's fine. I didn't watch it, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't even have a whole list of what won. I saw that God of War got the overall game of the year.
It did?
Yes.
Not
God
even
of War.
Fortnite?
Well, Here's the thing.
I'm sure the industry does not like Fortnite as well as maybe they're mad.
They do. Like they're learning lessons from it, but overall game of the year, God of War, and I think that's a good choice. It might not be my choice, but it was a pretty good choice. The thing that got me last night is they made a bunch of announcements there about
I see one.
Upcoming games. Which one do you see that you think
Mortal Kombat action? Mortal Kombat 11.
Nikki, could you...
Mortal Kombat!
Thank you. Yes, they did announce Mortal Kombat 11. They also, the one I'm the most excited about was they announced Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. Though they did say it's going to be a Switch exclusive, but Marvel Ultimate Alliance, personal favorite, or among personal favorites for me.
Don't you have a song to sing or a catchphrase to yell with that one?
I'm afraid
There's not one?
No, I don't.
But then you don't really love it.
Well, I mean, I do, but like...
They just don't have that.
They didn't have a song. Like they didn't have a remix.
A Mortal Kombat jingle that went with it?
No,
By the way, Mortal Kombat 11 will be April 23rd.
Wow. It even got a date. They also announced a new Far Cry New Dawn, which that's going to be out on February, like sometime in February next year. Is it? Yeah, it's February. And so the idea there is it's kind of like a half-step game.
February 15th.
It's $40, and it's going to take place after Far Cry 5, but it uses the Far Cry 5 map.
So it's like you said, a half a game?
Yeah.
Not a full new game, but not the one before?
Exactly that. They also announced some game called Hades, which is now in early access. Anthem had a new trailer. That's the game that's out in February from EA and BioWare, which that looks really good. They announced Crash Team Racing for the PlayStation 4. Let's see. Anything else? Obsidian announced a new game called The Outer Worlds, which is supposed to be an RPG first-person shooter that is a lot like Fallout, but hopefully better.
Side note.
Hello Games, the people that made No Man's Sky, has a much smaller game coming called The Last Campfire. And let's see, PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds is getting a winter map. There's some new game coming called Atlas from the people that made Ark. A game called Ashen is out now. BioWare officially announced Dragon Age 4. And if you're a Stranger Things fan, they announced a Stranger Things game that will launch alongside the show next summer, and it will tell a story that kind of goes along with the show. Yeah,
similar to like the Walking Dead sort of games, or will it be a bit more?
I don't know, but it's supposed to be like a retro throwback kind of game, so it has a 16-bit sort of look to it.
I guess maybe I should say it this way. Will it be like a mobile game or a larger console/mobile game?
Let me put it this way. It looks like you could play it on your phone, but it might not be a phone game.
Okay.
So it's
Something
supposed to have
a
co-op throwback kind of look to it. So,
well, Jerome's up for Dragon Age 4. His vote's for that.
Well, I can concur with that.
There's 2 for that one.
I'm down for Dragon Age 4.
No one else for the Mortal Kombat? No one?
I'm kind of Mortal Kombat-ed out, to be honest. But I do like hearing you yell the name.
I know, it's fun. It's a fun game.
The Riot's future, 2 words. Goat Farm. RadioU.
Nikki, how do you feel about, do you feel like you're good at, if you get those pictures, I can't remember what it's called, but they're like, okay, here's this picture and this picture. Pick the 7 things that are different about this one than this one.
I would think so. I'd be pretty good.
How good?
Maybe.
Do you think?
I'm pretty observant. Let's say that.
All right.
So I think I'd be pretty good.
Do you think that you could get paid for that? Meaning you feel like your skills are enough that someone would be like, you know what? We need to bring in Nikki for this.
I could be the career person. I'm the professional.
She's the one that's going to know.
Yeah, I think I could do a good job. Because
while there is not technically an opening in this position, I feel that if you kept your eye open, you might be in a good spot for it. And that is the Apparel, Footwear, and Textile Center for Excellence and Expertise.
I've always wanted to work there. That's been my dream job.
Mm-hmm. Those are the people that the Port of New York, Newark go to if there
to spot the difference between counterfeits?
They are a part of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. And so here's what happens. There is this shipment of Nikes, about 9,000 of them. And you're like, we've heard this before. No. This is a new one. It's not the same one.
Are they Nike or Nike?
And they came in and like their job is opening these boxes
to tell
and examining these shoes and going,
yeah, I could see that being a very important job.
Okay.
You probably get a pretty good amount of money for it.
Well, I'll tell you what, Nikki. Wow. On a typical day in 2017, the Customs and Borders Patrol seizes about $3 million worth of illegal products every
single
day. Think about that.
And I'd have job security then. I mean, I always am in needed.
Someone's always going to be smuggling in fake shoes, and you're always going to be there like,
can I be Agent Nikki then? Because I'm sure I'm with some agency.
Yeah, and they're going to be like, it's your job. I feel like, Nikki, your job would not be on the front lines. You would be the one that checks on the ones that other people are doing.
True.
And you're just like, look at this. Was Michael Jordan ever this fat? Look at these Air Jordans.
This isn't real, obviously.
Are you kidding me right now? Bronze don't look like this. Take a look here. Do you see the pattern on the back of the heel? This is where you can spot it.
I think maybe I could do this.
I think you would be great at it. And again, they don't have any openings, but they did just find another 9,000 fake Nikes. So
what do they do with them then? Do they burn them? Do they resell them in a different way?
They don't say.
Is everyone in the agency wearing fake Nikes? Like, what do they do?
I would love to know the answer to that. Honestly, like, do you return to sender? Do you just throw them away?
No, they have to confiscate. I think they have to do something with them.
And the thing that kind of sucks about it is like, okay, let's say you seize 9,000 Nikes and you can't sell them, whatever.
What happens if you take one down and then if you just pass it around?
Then there's only 8,999
How many Nikes and what
left.
do you do with them?
Oh.
It's kind of like when they
seize... Well, those are still on the wall.
Well, like when they seize drugs, have you ever seen? Sometimes they're like, all right, we got the big bonfire and we're throwing all the blocks of drugs into the fire.
So if everybody in that town is acting a little funny, that's just a contact buzz.
It's because you're just downwind from it. Or do they have to destroy them that way? Can they resell them as what they are?
I feel like it's one of those things where you think about a world where there are plenty of people that could use a pair of shoes. It seems like a real waste to just throw them away.
Yeah, but that's government stuff.
I don't know. That's just what the government does.
Always has been, always will.
All right.
Want to know what the Riot is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the Riot on Radio U.
It is the Riot
on Radio U.
And look, if you guys were watching right now, you could see a Christmas tree behind me.
'Tis the season.
You should totally go over to RadioU.com or Radio U Riot on Facebook and see us there and see LNYX.
Hey, how are you guys doing?
Hey.
Hello. Doing well.
Good.
Thanks for having us.
Good morning.
So, guys, look, I totally wanted to cheat before this interview, and I started digging through your social media, and you've been pretty dang quiet.
Been a little quiet.
So,
is this a reprimand or what?
It's not a reprimand. I just need you guys to tell me what you've been doing because I couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, we're just, I don't know, we've been kind of on the music front, been traveling less and just trying to focus on writing and releasing more music, and Send Help was the first kind of
jump
song
back in
that. Yeah. So yeah, been a little quiet. No pool parties. It's not season 4.
Man.
Which you guys you might not remember. If you have a moment, go to our Radio U Riot YouTube channel and look up past LNYX interviews. But they throw a pool party in the summertime that we always like to reference, where you have people bring their own inflatable, like little pools, and then everybody fills up the pools, and then you just hang out in those.
Okay.
Yeah, I highly recommend it if you have
it's a cheap party.
Flat yard.
Yes, as long as you have a flat yard.
Okay, so what's the Christmas equivalent? Do you guys have a bring your own, bake yourself into a cookie party, or like?
Ooh, I like that.
Well, now that might change.
Let me take my own little tissue notes over here.
What are those called? A cookie exchange or something?
I was on the phone with my mom this morning and heard about Cookie Exchange for the first time. I thought it was a website, but it's not. I do all my shopping on Cookie Exchange.
They're the best.
It actually sounds like a great idea.
Yeah, you let them put a cookie on your computer, and then all of your shopping is free.
It's at the Express.
Perfect.
I always accept cookies.
I think it's where again, you guys have parties where you put a demand on people, which is good, but you're having everybody bring a set of cookies, and then everybody goes and exchanges them, and then you can take home cookies.
Wait, so you're telling me you've been to a cookie party?
Yeah, you haven't had a cookie party before?
I don't have cookie party.
like all the rage.
So, Scott, your mom's having a cookie party?
I think she's going to one at her church.
Oh.
But she's never been to one before. She's like stressing about what cookies to make because she doesn't want to be the lady that winds up with her own cookies at the end of the day.
She's like the cookie queen, though. Like she makes thousands of cookies over Christmas and tries to send them all home with us. So
now this Christmas, when we show up, we get to eat cookies from strangers.
From strangers. But you're right, though. She is correct. The cookies say a lot about the person, so you got to make sure you're picking the right one that is a statement about you.
Well, it communicates a certain thing, and I'll have you know that every year I make, on Christmas Eve, I make peanut butter blossoms. That's peanut butter cookies with little Hershey Kisses on top. And
that's your statement cookie.
That's my statement piece for the whole year.
Yeah. That's a solid choice.
Lead into the new year.
Yeah,
you like candy? Curious both.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Driving people with candy to eat your cookie.
Okay. Yeah. Well, now for LNYX, let's bring this back full circle. Obi's saying you guys have been a little quieter on social media. Now you need to get back in, and we need to see a post soon about what is the LNYX cookie, like the official one.
Yeah, what is the official LNYX cookie?
Do some polls, figure it out, and then post it, and maybe a recipe.
Oh, all right.
I'm making cookies soon.
Yeah.
So
we actually have been, it's just weird. So we live in Nashville, and there's a lot of DJ opportunities for like events and stuff. And we find ourselves, we're DJing like 3 or 4 Christmas parties.
Nice. Nice.
And this one here does all our DJ stuff. And I don't know where she finds the most turned up Christmas music. But I'm like sitting working on my computer like, what is this? And then it goes into like a Christmas song.
It goes into Silent Night and you're just like, okay.
Well, I will say, I was giving you guys a hard time about social media, but I do keep finding pictures where they're like, this is my favorite DJ. And I see you guys at parties with your headphones and stuff, but then... that's kind of it. That sounds like fun, though. I want to have turn up Christmas music.
Everybody always, for some reason, wants you for a wedding, but no Christmas parties. So you need to get in on the Christmas.
Yeah, you got to get those deep Christmas cuts.
You got to get turned up to be Merry Gentlemen. That's the most lit.
That is an actual song title in our Christmas mix. So I think we could maybe we'll put together every now and then we'll do like a mini mix. So maybe we'll put together like a Christmas mini mix and release that, and then
that'd be fun.
You can just play exactly that on your station one day.
I was gonna say that sounds like our RIOT Christmas party then. So we'll just take your music and do that. That's a great idea.
I don't have a problem with that in the slightest. So guys, all of that Christmas talk aside,
this is LNYX.
You got a brand new song, Send Help. What kind of help? What kind of help do you need? Cookies or
baking, everything.
Okay.
So actually the song's been done for a long time. Actually, it is a pretty heavy song. It's not very light and Christmassy. But I mean, it does come out of like a harder season in life, and the song's been done for, it was done for a year before we released it. Just kind of it was still a little raw, so just didn't want to release it yet. And then finally feel like we're in a season where we can kind of,
listen to it again.
Yeah, listen to it again.
Cool.
And send this music out. And so the response has been really good. So we're excited about it. We're glad it's connecting with people and people are digging it. And we're happy it's out there in the world being a little song.
Yeah. Well, we're going to be playing it here in just a couple of minutes.
Yes, it starts today, so now you can request Send Help anytime you would like.
Absolutely, and those requests count for the most wanted, so you guys can see LNYX continuing to climb the charts.
And if you're texting to request it, just also put, again, your cookie of choice back to the cookie exchange, so that way we can send all the information to the LNYX fans.
So you've got a single and you've got a cookie party. Is there anything else on the horizon
and
for
Christmas
LNYX
parties is DJing
that we need to know about?
Just that we're going to be doing a lot of music. We're trying to release a new something, whether it's a new single or maybe like a remix or an acoustic version, stuff like that, every 6 weeks to digital markets. So a lot of music.
Someone should keep us accountable for that one.
Yeah, so if you guys are,
because we get quiet.
We hit 6.5 weeks and you're like, hello.
Excuse me.
You're late.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of music that we've, kind of been sitting on and we're just diving into releasing a lot of that, and then hopefully that'll turn into some touring when it gets warmer, because there's no way we're going any farther north than Nashville until this country heats up.
If someone wants to send us like south for the winter,
that would be good.
100%.
Okay, well, I'll tell you.
Musician equivalent of snowbirds.
Yes.
For sure.
Okay, well, I have a lot of contacts in the Caribbean, and they're always looking for Christmas DJs, and I'm just going to snap my fingers and make that happen.
Yeah. They just like you to come out and house sit and sit on the beach.
Yeah, it's a few $1,000s a month just to hang out at their house and make sure nothing happens to it.
And they're paying you, not costs.
Yeah, no big deal.
Not sketchy at all.
Well, you know
what?
Well, Merry Christmas. I would really like to have some cookies. So if you want to let your mom know if she has a few thousand left over, she wants to send them.
Send them your way.
I know a guy. So,
all right.
Well, hey,
I'll tell her.
Please do. And thanks for making time for us. I just threw something.
Was it your pen?
It was. And now we're
done.
That's it. I'm done.
He's done.
We're going to play their new song.
Send help.
Send help.
That Obi wrote his note on a napkin today, or a tissue.
Well, because I feel like this is like, hey, guys, the interview's going great. There's no problems. Everything's fine. Send help. Send help. So,
put your tissue down.
Sorry. Just saying, that's the emotional response I'm feeling.
Waking up with the Riot makes your nightmares not seem so bad. Actually, you might want to just go back to sleep. Radio U.
Are you listening online right now from North Carolina or Virginia? You might get a foot of snow.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Oh, yay.
Yeah.
I wish I was in an area where you got like and no one was hurt and no one was inconvenienced.
Okay.
But I would really like a really, really, really big snowstorm. And I haven't been in that in a while.
They are definitely getting one there. This would be, we just talked to the peeps in LNYX, and this is all, this will be east of them, actually. I'm looking at the map right now. But where it's going to hit the hardest, it looks like Asheville, North Carolina is going to be the one that really suffers
the most.
Mm-hmm. But even Charlotte, which...
But it never snows in Charlotte.
Oh, but it does, Nikki. Man, holy crap. Why didn't we talk to Scott about that? Scott from LNYX was Scott from Philmont. And Philmont has a song called It Never Snows in Charlotte. And Nikki, they're calling for 8 inches of snow in Charlotte.
I'm going to pull it up. We're going to play
We need to play that song. Right. We absolutely do. But yeah, they're calling for in Asheville, North Carolina, in that area, they're saying they could see 18 to 24 inches of snow. What the what?
And the hardest part about those areas when they get snow is they're just not set up for a little snow because they just normally don't get as much. So they're especially not set up for any snow of larger amounts.
Oh, that does sound fun, doesn't it?
Like not having it snowed in.
I was going to say you don't have anywhere to go, but you get to keep your electricity. Yes. And there's a ton of snow.
I want to be snowed in with all the food that I could possibly want. Delivery is still possible. It's not that bad.
No. You don't want to put delivery on people.
Internet is not down. No, they want to deliver.
No, they don't.
You don't need it, but if you had to, it's possible.
I'll tell you why I don't want to. This is the difference between you and me, because I assume you probably don't shovel your driveway and sidewalk, do you?
What are you talking about?
Okay.
I think it just melts by the time I need to get anywhere. Eric shovels it, and we have a snow thrower.
You can't see me hanging my head.
I'll go out and do it if I need to. He just does it already. It's teamwork, Obi. Teamwork.
What is it that you bring to the table?
I do the other stuff.
Like
the other house stuff.
Supervising?
Yes. Someone has to do it.
Supervising and scheduling. Nikki's like, all right, Eric, I have you scheduled to clean the sidewalk
why have we lost track of the fun of being snowed in?
And I've also scheduled for a Chinese delivery, so
we have to have it done before then.
So you're welcome. I'm feeding you. Now you got to get this done.
What I mean is I want to be snowed in, but not to where it's crippling. You just can't do anything. I want the option to still be there.
I want, I'm okay with not being able to leave as long as, like we said, cable and internet. Or not cable, but internet and electricity.
Because if we don't have internet,
then that's no fun.
Then now we're being punished.
Mm-hmm.
It's the radio equivalent of going to McDonald's and ordering a fish fillet. Hey, that's one of my favorite things from Mickey D's. The worst of the Riot on Radio U.
Headed into the weekend, one of the things that I'm thinking about is what movies am I going to watch? Because I'm definitely watching some movies this weekend.
And the first one is?
Well, I don't know.
You do know. You do know which one.
Mission Impossible 5?
Yes, we need to watch it.
Okay, that's fine. And you're right, and we do.
We've owned it for quite some time now, and we've never even watched it.
But we
watched it in theaters.
Here's my question to you, Nikki. What about Mowgli?
Oh, the Jungle Book one. I put in my queue for Netflix.
Okay, because it's a new movie on Netflix now. It is let's see if you've heard this before. It's a live action Jungle Book movie.
Yes, and who was the one who did the last one?
Well, that was a Disney joint.
Yes, but what's the one guy? Was it John Favreau?
John Favreau directed it, yes.
A really good movie. Like super, super good movie. I think it was on Netflix for a while, but it's not. Mm-hmm. But now this is another version.
Yeah, still have not seen that yet. So
I don't feel like I'll watch that this weekend, but I will
don't think
soon.
So?
Nah, maybe not. But I'll watch it maybe closer to Christmas.
No, you're not watching it.
No, I will. It's in my queue.
Okay, look. I'm not saying
once it's in there, it's not a guarantee.
Aaron says it's Mowgli. So I'm saying it wrong. You're
not a Jungle Book fan?
I'm going to tell you guys something. You ready? I've never seen a Jungle Book anything.
No movie?
No.
Nothing, not even like the animated one?
No. Because I used to have, what was it? I don't remember what Disney movie it was I had, but I had it. And every time you would put in the DVD, it would play that little clip from the Jungle Book, and I hated it. And so when it was like, hey, kids, are we all ready to watch the Jungle Book?
I was like, movie.
No, because I hate that one part, so I don't want to see anything Jungle Book ever.
You mean in all the times that you've watched movies growing up, you never even watched part of one?
No.
Oh, well.
Every time it was offered to me. And the things I've been trying to figure out is I think part of it is, and I noticed this about video games too, I don't like video games that take place where the environment looks hot. And so, like, if it's in a desert or sometimes even a jungle, I don't like that. And so that movie is like, hey, this kid's walking around, wearing his underwear the whole time. It's hot in the jungle. It's real yellowish.
So what about Tarzan?
No.
Did you ever watch that?
I actually did see Tarzan because that was one of those things where like that looked cool. The Jungle Book, like the animated one, that didn't look cool.
Well, skip that one and do the Jon Favreau one.
Yeah, but it's got a big snake in it, and I hate snakes, so can't watch that.
I mean, it's an evil snake, so it's fine. All right, well, I don't know what to tell you then.
Well, tell me that you're going to watch it, and you can let me know how it is.
Yeah, okay, I will.
Today?
Sure. I wasn't planning on sleeping tonight. I'll just watch it during the night.
Actually,
it's fine.
You know what? That's a great idea.
I'll just stay up. I mean, if I want to be committed to my queue, then I need to get this stuff done.
You know what? If you want to stay up late tonight, Nick and I were talking about playing Destiny 2 this weekend.
Oh,
so we could just
join
have
in.
3 for the fire team.
Okay.
2 to get ready now. Go.
Yes.
Okay.
You're going to have to help me join in on that one. But
okay.
All right,
or I'll give you an option. Or you can watch Mowgli and you can tell us whether or not we should watch it. Though, just a heads up, even if you say it's the best movie you've ever seen,
you're not going to.
I'm still not watching it.
I know you won't.
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't anybody act like poor Nikki. Let me tell you about the stack of movies she hasn't watched that I've begged her to watch.
All the current stuff I've not seen.
Mm-hmm. Come on.
Well, I don't want to start the Marvel stuff because
there's so many.
There's too many.
I don't want to set the bar too high.
How does Nikki put up with Obadiah day after day? It's easy. We pay her. Radio U.
All you people.
Are you pointing at them?
Yeah. Like to act like I'm the only one in this room that's got weird hang-ups about stuff, that gets all mad about nothing. Right? But I want you to ask Nikki, ask her about 2 different things. Ask her about tiny houses.
Well, no, I don't understand that. No one understands that.
Okay.
You say you might understand that, but you don't.
They do. No,
they
don't.
Unless
just get mad.
You're a family of 10 who are looking to live in a caboose, you don't understand.
Okay, she gets mad about that. And ask Nikki about shows that come back on Netflix.
When something is gone and it's been canceled, a no is a no.
If you go back and you listen to previous episodes of the Worst of the Riot podcast, you can actually find episodes where Nikki says the reason we have a hard time with the death of our pets is because they bring shows back on Netflix.
No, everything that you liked when you were little that was like 10 episodes long, if that, I don't understand why we can't just let a show go, but instead a couple of people are like, no, please. And Netflix or something buys it back and then brings it back again. And then you don't have closure on anything.
Nikki feels like our inability to say goodbye to things in our lives, it directly correlates, and she gets mad about it when Netflix brings something back. And I just want you to know that I feel like I was reading something and I started getting mad about it, and I was like, this is just like Nikki's thing.
This is just like how I feel.
Okay.
Well, then we just can't ever, as a society, let things go. I don't think that's healthy.
Well, and I feel like this ties into it a little bit. You know what I'm really tired of?
What?
I'm tired of people that make movies, shows, whatever. They come out and they're like, all right, guys, no matter what, we're not going to do this. And then 2 episodes in, they're like, all right, we're kidding. We're doing it.
Well, they do that because they want to make news in the beginning, like, oh, we wouldn't possibly, we're too good for this. But then they realize a couple episodes in, if things aren't going well, numbers-wise, then they pull out the normal formula things to have a show continue.
So here we have it. Are you ready?
What show is it?
It's going to get nerdy.
Oh, we're
and
fine.
I don't want anybody to get up in my business about it, all right? But
Oh, Doctor Who?
there's a new doctor for Doctor Who this year, right? And one of the big things they said at the beginning was like, all right, everybody, settle down. They're not going to do any of the old school villains, like no tie-ins. It's going to be like just straight up brand new stuff. And they said this season they won't do that. So then they just came out and made an announcement. And they were like, well, for our New Year's special, we're bringing them back. Because technically it's not part of the season.
It's a special. They're not really lying. But you know that they had that already filmed when they said the first statement.
This is why we can't say goodbye to our pets, Nikki. This is it right here.
Because we can't trust anybody.
As a society,
we
we can't.
no is not a no.
We can't get closure.
I know.
We can't get it.
I don't like it either.
Makes me want to go live in a caboose.
No, if you had a
Go
family
live
of
in
10.
a tiny house.
We're not the same.
Take the entire staff here and just shove them into one tiny room with cots.
Listen, I don't like when I feel like people are making choices that aren't the best for them. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry if I think I should have any input in that, but I don't think a family of like 10 should live in a caboose, so I don't like tiny houses.
Well, I don't think they should bring the Daleks back to Doctor Who.
And then that's fine. We both are passionate about certain things.
Though I really agree with Carl. Why hasn't Netflix just brought Firefly back? Come on!
That'd be the only one we'd be okay with. I like Nathan Fillion. I'd be fine with that.
I'm on board.
I know. See, again, why can't you bring back something that people actually, I feel like, cared about?
You know why? Because we need closure.
You need closure.
It all ties back together in our own particular psychosis.
Mm-hmm.
Send your complaints regarding that worst of the riot moment to Fire Obadiah at RadioU.com.
Aaron just sent us a list from Cracked.com, which they really do have some great stuff on there. Yeah, but this is a list of 31 inconsequential things that make you insanely angry.
So do you feel like us not liking when they always bring back Netflix shows and is that fall under this type of list? Or are we just always angry at the little things?
That could be. So like, for example, here's one. When the person in front of you in the express lane has one extra item.
See, that doesn't bother me at all.
I'm fine with that. Here's what I don't like.
You could have like 20 extra items. It's not a big deal.
I don't like that.
You don't? Where's the line then?
If you're right, they're like you 1, 2, 3. But like when you show up with a cart full and I'm behind you in the express line, I'm just like, you know what? You're a monster. You're a monster.
I would be doing the check yourself out though anyway. Sometimes I get a little annoyed if someone has like 2 carts full and they're trying to check themselves out.
Okay, I feel this one. When you're at a pay at the pump gas station and you put your card in and it says, please see cashier.
That's annoying.
Well, you don't know about that because you don't pump your own gas.
What are you doing with that?
You did one time.
Negative attitude.
One time you pumped your own gas.
All the time. Mm. I have a harder time just remembering what the zip code is when it asks for the zip code.
Okay, that's the thing. People who leave big gaps in a line.
Because they're watching their phone or something.
Because they need to scoot up. Ooh, this is a good one.
Attention.
When you let people go in front of your car and then they just slowly walk in front of it. Dude, no, that doesn't. Admittedly, I'm kind of okay with that. Let's see. When other people pronounce words wrong?
No, not really.
Okay. Nikki, this is you right here. The moment you find out something you love is being remade.
Because it's annoying.
That feels like you, right? So we're going through a cracked list from Aaron, who texted in that says things that make like small things that make you really mad.
Things that make you mad.
Okay. I'm still going through looking for a clock ticking in a silent room.
Oh, that could probably drive me mad.
Okay. Oh, you know what? Here's one. Putting the toilet paper on wrong. But then, Nikki, you don't put the toilet paper on.
I do too. Could you stop it? Why are you being so mean? At my new house, it's just a thing.
You told me that you still don't do it.
No, I still do. I do, absolutely. Because all you do is you just put it on. You don't have to change the role.
Okay, how about this one? People who use the smiling and crying emoji, so it's like they're laughing so hard they're crying.
Nah, doesn't bother me.
I don't like that one. And you know what the one I really don't like? The one that is like that emoji, but it's like rolling. So like it's laughing so hard it's rolling. And I'm just like, you know what? It's not that funny. This is not that funny.
This is not the best list.
Oh, no, I got one for you. People who chew with their mouth open.
Oh, that's medical with me. Like, I can't handle it.
Tell me. And Nikki, this is you.
I break out in hives.
People who won't put a new roll of toilet paper on. That's you.
I do put a new roll on.
You do. Nikki, I remember everything you've ever said.
No, you do not.
Yeah,
that was the old house when you had to take the thing off and do that. Now you just place it on it. There's no work. I do that.
Okay, let's see. Spoiler warnings. Okay. All right. I'm running out of stuff here.
It's not the best list.
It's not. Stop using apostrophes to make things plural.
No.
Okay, and this is their number one. They say this is the most annoying little things. When you hop on your computer and it wants to update.
Well, I'm closing the list. This isn't at all what annoys us. Not really.
Nikki and I have like existential dread.
We have things that just annoy us because you tell us it shouldn't annoy us, and then we just feel like we have to be annoyed then.
Yeah. All right. Okay.
Well, thanks for setting the list.
Hey, everybody.
We're not annoyed by that.
Certainly not. As a matter of fact,
we love the text messaging.
We just think it's a real joy to hear from you. That's what we think.
You're a real go-getter sending that to us.
Sure is great.
Some have said that if you just keep listening to The Riot, you'll learn to love them. Has that really worked for anybody yet? Has anyone tested that? It's The Riot on Radio U.
So earlier, Nikki and I were like, hey, they might have an Avengers 4 trailer today.
And guess what?
I just saw it.
Did you like it?
I did, and they unveiled the name.
They did, so it's not like a spoiler to say the name.
Avengers 4 Endgame is the name of the new Avengers movie. So
now, as someone who has not been in the Avengers game,
the end game,
pardon me if this sounds stupid, but I know like the one before that came out this year, and then that one, it's kind of like the same movie, kind of, but they just cut it in half.
Yeah, basically,
kind of. So does this one like end it, or for Avengers stuff, or how long are we going to keep going, or until we come up with like a new thing?
They've been pretty quiet about what happens after this. I mean, like they've announced some movies.
Like, you can't keep going forever. They want you to. No, I take that back. They really want to. Nikki, but is it Thanos? Is that the guy?
Yeah, Thanos.
Yeah, eventually, are they going to
Eventually, they take care of him, and then there are other big bads you could deal with in the Marvel Universe.
So that's my question is, should this be the end of that sort of storyline?
Oh, I'm sure that it will be.
Okay.
And then we'll start dealing with things. I mean, like, you could do Galactus. You could do, there's so many things that you can do.
It feels like
the Beyonder.
The poor Avengers, it just never is a time off or a rebuilding year or just, a break.
Nikki, when you're an Avenger,
you don't get that.
They're not called the vacationers. They're not the honeymooners. They're the Avengers.
You're right.
Because they got something to do.
That's true.
Okay.
That's coming out in, when is
it's
it?
May
is
of
it
next
May?
year.
Mm-hmm.
So you got Captain Marvel in March. You got that in May. It looks good. The trailer looked good. The thing I thought was really interesting about the way that it was, the trailer, I mean, you don't know for real, but like from the trailer, it feels like Infinity War felt enormous. This feels a lot smaller, which I think is a great, if that's what they do, that's a great idea for a follow-up. You go from a movie that literally has every Marvel character ever in it to a much
more
smaller,
manageable,
focused movie. I think is a great way to wrap that up. So We'll see. I'm really curious to see where it goes from here.
I also still felt like they should have done well if, Captain Marvel, I guess, will be fine in March, but I felt like we were missing a fall.
We totally were.
Fall movie along those lines. Like, you have Aquaman, but that's different, and that's not Marvel. I understand. And it's water-based, so it's different.
I'm going to see Aquaman.
Sure.
I have been, like, you know what, quite honestly, it was just like Wonder Woman. To me, Batman and Superman, those are no-brainers. Like, those are going to be great movies, except it wasn't. And so then you have Wonder Woman that I wasn't that interested in, ended up being really good. And then you've got Aquaman that I haven't been that interested in, and they say that is really good.
But I felt like we were missing an October-November thing.
Nikki, we were.
Never had it.
We were, because for the last few years, we had, Thor Ragnarok, and before that we had Doctor Strange. And so you get conditioned
so then now you'll
expecting a movie.
You'll have, Aquaman at Christmas, but then you turn it around a couple of months, you'll have Captain Marvel, and then you turn it right around, and then you have Avengers.
And then you turn it around again, and there's the next Spider-Man movie.
True. There's a lot.
Also next summer. That's
Pacing
good.
is important.
You got to pace yourself.
Don't overwhelm us.
Thanks for listening to the Worst of the Riot podcast.
Oh no! I missed it! Do it again!
You can hear us live every day on the RadioU network through the RadioU app or at riot.radiou.com.
This is us time, and I want to talk about this pillow thing.